Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a market update for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on the Bitcoin chart, and I'm going to be trying to answer the question, where is the bottom for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Now, a lot of people have tried to answer this. Some people are calling it 1, 2K. Guys, I don't think we're going that low. Some people have called it 5K. I'm not totally sure we're going that low, but I'm going to be talking about that in the technical analysis portion of this video. I'm also going to be bringing you some news relating some things that some banks have been doing in Asia, but we'll be getting to that after the technical analysis. So let's get right into it. Bitcoin is currently trading right around $6,900. Leave your laughs in the comments below. Bitcoin, its market capitalization is right around $115 billion. Like I say at the beginning of every single one of these videos, let's keep that in perspective. That is still a very large market capitalization, especially compared to where we were just a year ago. If you look 2 years ago, that is off the charts. Everybody was calling 6,000. I remember back then, everybody was saying 6,000 was like the holy grail number to beat. And then everybody was saying 10,000. And now a lot of people are saying 25, 50, 100,000. So guys, the market moves very quickly. We're having a temporary pullback. It might last another month. It might last another year. It doesn't matter. We're in this for the long game. Keep that in mind. The rest of the market is up just right around 2 to 3%. We're seeing a little bit of green today, not a whole lot. Some coins are red. Tether is down 0.14%. If you've seen my April Fool's video on that, you'll know that I'm very bullish on Tether. So guys, keep an eye on Tether. Ontology is up 28%. That coin's been doing pretty well for a little while. Strass is up 11%. We're seeing some big gains today. You know, guys, a lot of people get kind of freaked out when they hear the term bear market because they're like, okay, well, all I can do is lose money. That's not exactly the case. You can actually make a lot of money in a bear market. It's just a little bit harder, and you can't do swing trades so much in a bear market. You need to do more day trading and more like week time frame trading at the very most. And you can still make quite a bit of money in a bear market. You just have to know how to play your cards, and you also want to start establishing long-term positions in bear market, guys. So let's keep that in mind as well. Litecoin's currently around $116. Ethereum is under $400. I said $400 was my target bottom for Ethereum, and it's dropped down to about 365, 370 if I remember correctly. We'll look at that on the chart in just a second. But overall, everything's up a little bit today. Bitcoin dominance, as it has for the last month or so, has continued to hover right around 45%. When this starts going on a little bit of a run up to like 50 or 55%, that's probably going to be the beginning of a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency bull run. We're going to see if that's going to happen. That's going to take some time. One thing to keep in mind, guys, volume is kind of falling off. The 24-hour volume for all of cryptocurrency is lower than Bitcoin's volume was on average like 3 months ago. Bitcoin's daily volume was like $14–15 billion back in the middle of December when we were having that crazy run up to $20,000. That was a great time. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency have retraced a lot back then. We have a lot of room to go to get back there. There's a lot of gains that you can make on the way back up to 20,000, guys. We're 66% right around retrace from the all-time high. There's a lot of money to be made if you just buy now and wait for the all-time high to come back, because it will happen. It should happen. I'm betting my portfolio on it. I know you guys are also. The market capitalization is just right around $260 billion. We had a double bottom at $280 billion, and I was hoping that would hold. Unfortunately, it did not. This fell to about $245 billion. But anyway, let's get on to the Bitcoin chart. I'm going to be kind of brief here because I talk about this in a lot of videos. As I like to do at the beginning of every single one of these, for people that are newer here, I'm going to define two trend lines that are very important when doing technical analysis on the Bitcoin chart. One of them is this long-term downtrend right here. As we can see, this is a very important downtrend. We have two touches to establish it up here at 19,000 and one here at 17,000. We also have another one here at 11,700, and then we have a bunch of little resistance and support around it as we come down here to our long-term uptrend, which is also a very important trend line. This trend line is established back here at sorry, let me zoom out a little bit. I was looking at the wrong trend line. This trend line is established back here at $1,800. It has a touch here. Well, the pivot point is back here at $1,800. It's established here at 3,000, and we had a touch here at 6,000 back here on the big pullback on February the 6th. So what we've seen the last couple of days, if we zoom in here to the hour chart, is we saw these two trend lines cross, and we saw the price basically right here when the trend lines cross. As you can, the trend lines crossed. As you can see, there's a candlestick that goes straight through that cross. And one thing to keep in mind is that we want to stay above both of these. This long-term downtrend for a long time was resistance. Right now, it's actually support. And for a long time, this long-term uptrend was support, and now it's resistance. So the entire thing has gone flipped on its head in the last couple of days. We're above the long-term downtrend, which historically we've been below for a very long time. So that's a good thing that we're above that. We want to stay above that, but now we're below this long-term uptrend. Now, the good thing about that is that this long-term uptrend is going to be much easier to break than this long-term downtrend. due in part to the fact that the long-term uptrend is a lot more shallow, and the long-term uptrend at the end of 2018 only goes up to about $12,500. So it's not anywhere near as steep as of a trend line as this long-term downtrend was. It's nowhere near as just bad. I hate this trend line. We need to stay away from this trend line or keep it as support as we're doing now. But eventually this trend line is just going to continue down off into nothingness, down all the way to zero and into the negative prices, but I don't think Bitcoin's going to negative prices. So what did I talk about at the beginning of this video? I said that I want to mention, or I want to kind of discuss where I think the bottom is. I've heard a lot of people call the bottom at like 1,000. I've heard a lot of people call the bottom at 3,000, 2,800. I've heard 4,700. Not totally sure where they're getting 4,700 from. They're probably seeing something on the log scale that I don't. I've seen a lot of people call 5,000. That's probably the lowest that I would predict it going. Guys, the reason that 5,000 is an important level is because we had an all-time high back here that held for about a month, and then we eventually broke it. That's an important level. Another important level is 6,000. That's a really important level because we had a lot of support, or a lot of resistance, excuse me, back here on the 6,000 level, and that's where we pulled back to on February the 6th. Now, on the Litecoin chart, we've seen a double bottom on the Litecoin over US dollar chart. We've seen something similar on the Ethereum chart, not exactly. And if we were to have a double bottom, at this point we've already broken this long-term uptrend, which I was not looking forward to. I was hoping that we wouldn't break that, but since we have, the next real level of support, if we can't just get back above that, the next real level of support that we're going to test if we need it is $6,000 and see if we can make a double bottom here on Bitcoin. Now, we made a double top up here. It'd be very nice to see if we can make a double bottom down here. That'd be a pretty good level of support. One of the problems is that we're so close to it already that if we just fall over to it, it's not going to give us the volume climax that we saw back here that just shot us up like 100% in about 2 weeks. That's probably not going to happen because we've fallen so shallow. We've fallen in a very shallow manner down here to 6,000. I think the institutions are eyeing the $6,000 and $5,000 level. A lot of them want cheaper Bitcoin because we're still pretty bullish, guys. It's not like we're not in a bull run right now. I mean, on long-term scale, if we go out here to like the week chart or something, we are. But in the mid to short term, we're not, guys. We need to keep that in mind. I think a lot of the institutions pouring their money back in here is probably what we're going to need to send Bitcoin back to the all-time high. And also, we need adoption to continue because, guys, there is I don't have the video on hand. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. But there's a guy named Thomas Lee. I've mentioned him in videos before, and he talks about this equation. I forget what it's called. I'm blanking on what the name of this equation is called. But it's basically an equation that says the square of the users in a network times whatever factor will equal the price of that commodity. Now, you can use that to evaluate the price of Google stock, you can with Facebook stock especially also. So if you apply that to Bitcoin, you can actually put the number of active users that use Bitcoin into that equation and then multiply it by. See, I'm blanking on what he multiplied it by. It's a number that is. Okay, I'm making myself look stupid. I'll put it in the description down below. But either way, what my point is that we're going to need a lot more adoption to help bring the Bitcoin price back up to 20,000, guys. Because 20,000, this price was not warranted by adoption. $20,000 Bitcoin was overvalued. We were significantly overvalued at this point. Who knows where? It's hard to value the true. It's hard to find the true value of a cryptocurrency. Bitcoin right now, I think, is a lot closer to it than it was at $20,000. We might even be below what you could call the true value. We're gonna see what happens, guys. But we need more of that adoption to start coming in. We need more mainstream use cases to start coming in. We need more corporations and more businesses to start using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, because if one of the cryptocurrencies does well, the rest of the cryptocurrencies are probably going to follow suit. So let's look at Ethereum and Litecoin real quick. Litecoin, or Ethereum over USD, excuse me, it had a very important, well, not a very important, but a pretty important level of support right here around $400. Let's zoom in over here so you can see that. We had a little double bottom here for a time before we had this nice run in Ethereum, and that was right around $400. I was saying that I want $390 to $400 to be the bottom for Ethereum. Unfortunately, we broke that. We went down to about 360, I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, right around 360. So we're seeing this kind of level in between 360 and 380 as support. We want to maintain that because that's still a pretty big retracement from the all-time high on Ethereum. A lot of the large cap coins are seeing kind of feeble resistance, and we're going to see if they can hold. I think it will, because we're so close to the bottom at this point. Litecoin, on the other hand, has some really strong, really strong support. I talked about this in a video a couple days ago, but essentially what happened on Litecoin is actually pretty funny. We had a double bottom back here, and then we had a double bottom right here, and then both of these instances together make a double bottom. So we have a double bottom of double bottoms, guys. So that's a really nice level of support right here around $110, which is also It's not a big even, but it's more of a big even than like 107 was back here. So 110, that's a pretty good level of support for Litecoin. I think we can all agree that's a pretty decent support level for Litecoin. I think the bottom is in, guys. I'm not totally sure because Bitcoin could very well retrace back to $6,000, but I don't think Bitcoin's going to go below $6,000. I just don't see that happening. It very well may. Don't quote me on that. I mean, you can quote me on that, but I prefer you not to. I don't think it's going to happen. But guys, it very well may. Keep in mind that we could go down to 5,000. We could go down to 4,700 like some people are calling. I don't think it'll happen, but I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. If I knew everything the market was going to do, I'd be a millionaire and I wouldn't be here making YouTube videos. You know, no, I probably would actually. But I can't predict the future. No one can predict the future. You guys got to do your own research and make your own bets, and you can't. If something goes bad, you can't go blaming a YouTuber because, and most of you don't do this, but I do see some people that they make a bad trade or they make a bad investment, and then instead of blaming themselves, they go and blame a YouTuber, or they go and blame the person that's told them that Bitcoin's going to fall to 10,000 and then have a retracement. You can't go blaming other people for your problems because this is something that transcends cryptocurrency also, guys. If you go and start blaming your problems on other people, then what you've done is you've taken power away from yourself and put it onto other people that don't necessarily have your best interests at heart. Does that make sense? So if you start blaming other people for faults that are actually your own, then all you're doing is empowering your enemies. You think they're your enemies because they hurt you, but yet you're empowering them by giving them, or at least convincing yourself that they have the power over you. The fact of the matter is, if you make a bad trade, there's no one to blame but yourself. If you found bad information, that's your own fault. And I'm not getting out of me giving you bad advice. I don't give financial advice here. I give my opinion, and if I make a mistake, I'm very apologetic for that. But guys, what I'm saying is that for me and other cryptocurrency YouTubers and other people in general, if you take someone's advice and it doesn't go well, the best thing you could do is point the blame back on yourself and say, well, I shouldn't take that advice again. That's what you should do, and you should do that with me. You should do that with everyone you ever see in the world. Let's talk about this news, and I'm going to get on with it because this video is getting pretty long. This is an article by Molly Jane Zuckerman on Cointelegraph. Bitcoin Ethereum prices remain steady despite crypto ban from India's central bank. That's a little bit of FUD right there because that's not really what happened, and they admit this in here. The crypto markets are holding their own this week with Bitcoin BTC not venturing too far away from $7,000, even amid news that India's central bank would stop dealing with crypto-related businesses. It's kind of like a shadow ban almost. It wasn't like a hard, you're not allowed to use cryptocurrency. That would be pretty bad if a country with 1.2 billion inhabitants had done that, but that's not what happened. The relatively steady prices could be attributed to a big adoption win in Asia yesterday, where Omise and Omise Go signed a memorandum of understanding for fintech and blockchain innovation with a South Korean banking affiliate. So that's some pretty good news, guys. That's not what we want to read, but that's some pretty good news, guys. This will be in the description down below. We do want to continue seeing adoption like that between cryptocurrencies and governments, and also between cryptocurrencies and businesses. Because if we're going to see mass adoption, we're also going to need to see mass adoption in the realm of businesses and governments, so that they can help bring cryptocurrencies in front of a mass audience. Because if we just make YouTube videos all day long, yeah, we're going to get a bunch of enthusiasts. But what we really need for Bitcoin to go to the moon and go to its all-time high and beyond is for people to start using it as a currency, and that's kind of the point, isn't it, guys? So we want to see that, and Bitcoin will inevitably go back up to 20,000, 100,000, 200,000. There are a lot of experts that think that's very possible, and I do also. I have a video on can Bitcoin go to 1 million on my channel. I think it's very possible, guys. I think it's going to take longer than some people think, but I think it is very possible. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you enjoyed the video, please think about leaving a like and subscribing. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.